If you look at Kandyan dance, you had asked me what about Kandyan dance in the female body. Kandyan dance is a dance that actually men only danced. Right? So the women started dancing very recently in the 60s, and Vajira, my teacher, was one of the first female dancers to dance professionally. And then when women started dancing this form, the form starts to evolve and it becomes what we call the lasya qualities are embodied in this Kandyan dance form. So although it's a very strong and powerful form, there is now a sense of gracefulness and control that is also included in it. And I think that it's actually now a very aesthetically beautiful form. And when I studied under Vajira and Upeka as well, who are very powerful, strong women, we were asked to jump as high as the men, kick as high as the men. There was never a difference in our training. And also, interestingly, the men who study under Vajra and Upeka have also imbibed that gracefulness that they bring to the dance. And I think that this is actually a really nice. So if you actually look at the Kandyan dance, there's a possibility for fluidity, that women can be powerful and men can be graceful. And this is maybe not so much the case in some of the other forms that come from the origin of only women dancing. But of course, in the presentation of the form, and because recently the Kandyan dance form has become the symbol of the Sinhalese culture and the Sinhalese people, then there is a lot of control and respectability also attached to the form and how you present the form, and there is a certain way that you're supposed to do it. Like, for example, the hip area is not something that you move in Kandyan dance, right? But that also may be because men were dancing it. And I just was wondering, for example, if the low country dance form is a form that still mostly men dance. It is not a form that was that got so much patronage and was not classicalized like the Kandyan dance form. But in it, the men who dance, they dance in a kind of a hyper feminine way. And if this dance form was taken as a symbol of our culture, the Sinhalese culture, and the women were dancing in the low country form with their hips swaying and with these like very interesting upper body movements, I really wonder how that representation would be. But for me, even though I found it a powerful form, the Kandyan dance, I did find that there were certain restrictions. And I found that going into the research of ritual, I started researching ritual some years ago, and I created a piece called the Kesel Madhu, which is not a real ritual, but it's a satire piece, and it was created as a response to the Buddhist monk-led violence against the Muslim minority community. But I found it interesting. I mean, women cannot dance the ritual, either in the Kandyan dance form or in the low country form. In Sri Lanka, women are not conducting the rituals, they are not entering the sacred space, and this is because women are considered impure because of our menstruation and this thing called kili. So, but this is in many other countries, women are the shamans and the conductors of, between these spiritual spaces. So I had to create a fake ritual to be able to perform and to dance in it, because I am not allowed to be in the actual ritual. And I invited Kumari, another very powerful woman, to work together with me, and we worked on the texts. And because the low country rituals and the gammadus and the hatasanyas, they also have a lot of these texts which is crude and comedy, and and also the men still perform hyper feminized roles. So we also created this kind of text, and I was also interested to see when a man performs these hyper feminized roles and says these words, it's kind of funny, it's humorous. But when a woman who is supposed to be seen as respectable and present in a certain way start performing in this way and kind of going out of control and saying these words, how would it be seen, and what kind of reaction would there be also in the audience? But also, I had to also embody the local dance form while I was creating this ritual, and also going into I went into some of the existing frameworks and subverting it. And what I found was that going into this ritual framework and performing with these rituals gave me an immense sense of freedom. I was able to break away from the boundaries of respectability and how we are, as a woman, we are supposed to move, what we are supposed to say. You could break into laughter because also there is a sense of possession and madness. So actually, for me, going into contemporary dance was not the thing that gave me freedom. It gave me a different set of restrictions, even as a woman, and maybe some things coming from concept and head. But the actual freedom and breaking away from these boundaries of what a woman should be like was actually through going deeper into our own rituals and traditions. And I guess in that sense, it's time that we question these things, like why is it that only men are allowed to do the rituals? Why is it that men